Welcome back to the Marvel Snap deck highlight. Today we're coming at you with some Lockjaw discard deck, looking to discard cards from its own hand, primarily with things like Swordmaster or our key card Hellcow here that discards multiple cards from our hand. We have a few different payoffs for discarding our own cards, such as Apocalypse, who gets bigger and comes back to our hand every time we do that, or Swarm, who duplicates, becomes free. Free swarms work very well with our deck's other namesake, and that is Lockjaw here. When you play a card here, swap it with a card in your deck. This allows us to turn these swarms into other things that discard to get more swarms or make our Apocalypse bigger. While we're discarding all of these things, our Morbius in play is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The giant Apocalypse in our hand at the end of the games is often discarded to Dracula. Something important to note about that interaction is Dracula actually takes on the power of the discarded Apocalypse once it returns to your hand and it's larger. So for example, if you discard a 16 power Apocalypse to Dracula, it returns to our hand with 20 power, and then Dracula gains 20 power. Now, this is one of these decks where I'm probably not sure on the power level of this deck overall. There's a number of people in the community that rate this deck very highly on their tier list, but I'm not sure if I'm convinced the power level that it has in the games where you roll kind of high makes up for the lack of consistency. Whenever any of these cards like Hellcow or Swordmaster or Blade don't specify what type of card you're discarding, they discard at random. Lockjaw has another random element that becomes extra dangerous when you're flipping into cards that discard from your hand. And then to top it all off, Dracula is also another one of those random discards, so one of our more powerful effects is also going to have some games where it just doesn't really get on the board. All of that being said, I always encourage playing games for fun. I think this deck's a ton of fun to play. It is high variance dopamine machine. When you're going big, you're going fast. It's a ton of fun. I hope you have as much fun watching these games as I did playing them. Remember, if you do, to tap that like button and leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite part was. I'd also be interested to know if you've played this archetype. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's just a fun meme? I'd love to hear about that. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I post deck highlights on their Marvel Snap updates here 7 days a week, and you wouldn't want to miss anything. Enjoy some Lockjaw discard for today, folks. Yes, yeah, it was still 6 power. It was the exact same thing it is now, except it was 2 energy. It's a shame Cully got hit by the icebox here. People really like Ultron, chat. It's a very iconic Marvel character. Oh, I can't play him there. That's fine. That's fine. This'll discard. This is actually ideal. I say it saved me from myself. This is ideal because Colleen will discard Swarm guaranteed, and then we'll double Swarm here, right? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Wait, did we win the tiebreaker? Plus 14, plus 13 by 1? We won the tiebreaker by 1, chat! We won the tiebreaker by 1! Basically never blading on 1 in this deck unless your hand is like Apocalypse Swarm. Lockjaw? Lockjaw? Colleen. Let's play Miss Sif. Professor X stops Lockjaw from working. Obviously, we want to discard Apocalypse with Blade here, but whatever happens, happens. This is guaranteed did Apocalypse. It's definitely Morbid time. Up by 9, up by 5. Gonna be up by a lot left. Nah, they know about this is the other part that's tough about this deck. Even when this deck works, what you're doing is face up on the table, so it's hard to get good cube equity with this deck. Like, they know we have a 16 power Apocalypse. This deck is really bad at getting cubes out of reasonable players. Your opponents have to be playing really poorly to give you more than 1 to 2 cubes per game with this deck. This deck's sweet when it works, and spinning things is fun, but it's got really awful cube equity. Not playing Blade here, don't really want to risk discarding Dracula. Yep, still just vibing. This is Lockjaw on 3, Dracula on 4, get cycling on 5. I would love Colleen Wing is what we're looking to draw in the next 2 turns. So our turn 5 can be Morbius Blade Colleen Wing. That is a really bad beat there. Only get to put 2 cards into my Lockjaw path now. Pretty unfortunate. Oh my god, I just... In my brain, I was already playing those and playing Colleen, and then we didn't draw her. I'm probably supposed to just swarm here, too. I guess I could have Lady Sift. Are they, like, hobgoblining me middle? So... Sarah negative ghosted. If you're just conceding, if your opponent's conceding to Sarah negative every time you miss her negative, that's also good cube equity because you don't always have it. You're basically making the assumption your opponent always has it. And that's just not how reality works. So Hellcow is plus 10 here. So this is 10, 13, we go to 15 here, which might be enough. It is not enough. Sarah's good because of exactly what we're talking about, which is oh, did we win? Oh my God, we won again? I always forget Dracula gives us 2 more. LOL. Okay, sure. Morbius, please. Morbius, please. Lockjaw? Alright. Our hand is super awkward. We have neither of payoffs. It's probably going to be a retreat game. Maybe they put their real Mysterio into Warrior Falls and they're going to leave because of that. Alright, Moon Knight. Taking their wave, taking our apocalypse. X-Mansion diff. Wongers versus X-Mansion diff. Alright, I'm not snapping because I assume they're leaving, but big pug champion. Big pug champion. It's morbid time. Okay. Am I playing the swarms out? You want to chill on him? You want a Swordmaster? Swordmaster right kills my Moon Knight. That's better if they play a bigger thing. This is fine. This is fine. Yeah, they're leaving. Okay, funny game. Weird game. Thank you, X-Mansion. Sometimes lucky. Okay, we've got Morbius into Lockjaw. Oh, man. Swarm would have literally been our best draw next turn. Would have literally been our best draw. Sedge. Ooh, that's another piece of candy. Actually, Dracula lives real happy in Jotunheim. And actually, let's do Morbius here, Sif here. Because Sif doesn't risk... Oh, wait. Sif could flip into something that discards Dracula, right? Okay, this was loose. I should have just played Dracula. Okay, sometimes lucky. I think we wait on this because I don't really want to discard Swordmaster, right? So just Dracula this turn. Cool and calculated. This is actually pretty bad for us because, with both these cards here, our deck really doesn't play for another path particularly well. Maybe Moon Knight will snipe them, would be nice. Hey, thanks for the 9 months, Dunky, appreciate it. Yeah, we just have like all our stats in Murray. I guess if we hit like Chavez mid, we have an okay amount of stats there. We discarded their Mysteria. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could just play Apocalypse left. Is that the line? This adds 5 more power to the right? It's probably the line. Weird Magneto. Or were they counting, like, let's say I don't play the Apocalypse out, then it discards the Dracula, and I actually end up with more power? Yeah, it feels like they were supposed to have bounced there. Because snapping and whatnot is pretty integral to the core of what Marvel Snap is. So, you don't want to get rid of it in a tournament setting. I think a big part of what makes Cosmo at least a little bit balanced is the fact that he's symmetrical. I think we wait. I just want a Dracula. I don't want to risk discarding it. No, just lose 10 cubes. You don't get your opponent's cubes when you win. So first to lose 10. Otherwise rounds would take forever. Rounds can even take a little bit of time. Even with first to lose 10, so. Swarm is the actual perfect hit here. Oh, and then we found Morbius. Man, God, this deck is so good when you run Hotter Than the Sun, chat. If you're running hot, this deck is like good like no other. That doesn't matter what order we do these. They technically haven't announced if they're gonna do multi-deck or single deck. All we know is the cube thing. I imagine you could do either with the community tournament. I know if I plan to run tournaments here in Hoaglandia, unless they announce an official format, I'll probably say a three card side deck is what I would go to by instinct. Okay. Okay, we're good to go now, right? We win the raid as well. Stucks in. Oh my god, the Moon Knight makes all their dinos smaller. LOL. This deck's really good when everything comes together. There's just so many moving parts. Thanks for being one of the awesome people that made it all the way to the end of the video. Remember, your likes and comments help videos grow with engagement, and be sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. I post Marvel Snap game news, updates, deck highlights, and other fantastic stuff here 7 days a week. We hope to see you back again real soon.